Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for watching on the Town with Tanya. I'm back again this week, and I'm so happy to see you guys back out there. Thank you for staying with us. So tonight's guest is a certified health and wellness and trauma recovery coach. She is a fitness instructor specialist, allied health professional, which her, I guess, her specialty registered cardiology technologist. She has been a medical professional for over a decade and a health and life coach for years. She is also a former foster youth who is here with us tonight because, in her words, she has witnessed the damage that unhealed trauma and living an unhealthy lifestyle can do to an individual's body and mind. She is here with us today to share her tools of healing for anyone out there who is or has experienced trauma. Please welcome Denis Blake. Hi, welcome.
Hi. Thank
Good to see
you.
you. So good to see
Good
you
to
again.
see you again.
How's it going up there in Canada, right? Canada?
Yes,
Yes.
Newfoundland is
I
an
love
island
your
on the East
accent.
Coast. I love your accent.
I love your accent. I'm like, it's like a little bit of Australian. It's got a little twang to it, a little Scottish, a little everything in there. I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
get Irish, Scottish, whatever.
I love it. So just forgive me. I majored in communication, so I love all languages.
Oh,
Just
that's good. Me too.
thing.
Not the
So
communications part, but I love all languages.
yeah, no, it's just amazing. I can't understand how God has that. Every place has a different
hmm
to it.
And I live on an island, so
Oh,
I'm on the northern peninsula right now, but I'm from the east coast of the island, and the accent here is totally different from the accent on the other part of the island.
wow.
It's amazing, yeah.
That is
All the
just
different
I love
dialects.
yeah, the different that's why I said different dialects, and you can hear
Yeah,
some people say, wait a minute, that's a little bit different than there.
yeah.
It's just amazing. But anyway, so I appreciate you being here with us tonight. I'm a firm believer that, especially after the pandemic, a lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are dealing, their past trauma may be coming up or maybe triggered from all the stuff that's going on. So I just, Googled around a little bit and saw that, was it 223.4 million people? Is that right? Have experienced some type of traumatic event at least once in their lives. So it's like 70% of adults, they say.
hmm
And according to Lifelinks in behavioral health, they say over 90% of consumers have experienced trauma. 90%. That's pretty much only 10% of the people in the world are functional. That's how I see that. What did you
it's
find?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's rampant
yeah,
everywhere.
it is.
I think some people have trauma and they don't even realize that what they've experienced is trauma.
Well, we're going to get into that. But first, tell us, what do you define as trauma, just on your terms?
Okay. Well, there are different types of trauma. There's acute and then there's chronic. So anything that is quick and extensive, so like anything from a natural disaster to a car accident, something like that, but it has a detrimental effect on your mental health and your well-being in the long term.
Mhm.
And then you have like prolonged trauma, such as childhood abuse, domestic
Mhm.
violence, things that last for a very long time. There's no real definition really for just one particular type because there's so many different types of trauma
Right.
depending on your situation, right? Some people think that, okay, well, if you've been through a war or experienced a violent environment in that type of scenario, that's what trauma is. But trauma can be anything from not getting what you needed from your parents
Mhm.
to physical, sexual, emotional abuse, and so on.
Wow. So how do we know trauma is affecting our lives or those we love?
I think the biggest thing that I found with my own experience was my reactions to things.
Mhm.
Um, Mistrust is a big thing
Yes.
because when you've been abused or neglected in any way as a child or even in your adult years,
Mhm.
that can come back to bite you as, not being able to trust people and being defensive and hyper vigilant, like thinking that the world is out to get you and you don't really know why. And you can it's like an overreaction to a situation that if you hadn't experienced trauma, you would have been able to handle in a calmer manner.
Right. It's been a different response. So, as a
Yeah.
trauma survivor, what led you to this work?
Okay. I would say that a few years ago, I found myself in a very dark place.
Mhm.
I had everything that I thought I wanted as an adult.
Mhm.
I had a great marriage, a good job. I work at a hospital full time. Like my job is secure,
Mhm.
and I just found myself dealing with it was flashbacks. I would be triggered easily, like my nervous system would be activated quickly.
Mhm.
And I didn't really know why. I think it's just because I was in such a calm state and everything around me seemed like it was going well, but
Mhm.
I didn't deal with my childhood trauma. I buried it all the time. I worked my butt off.
Mhm.
I kept busy all the time. I was a single mom for 18 years,
Mhm.
and I was hyper focused on making sure that my son had the life that I didn't have growing up.
Mhm.
So I think then, like once my life became calm and I had all the things that I worked hard for,
Mhm.
that, it started to show up then. And I was looking for resources. So I sought out professional help. I saw a psychiatrist,
Mhm.
counselors, and psychologists,
Mhm.
and they helped, but they were more of like a therapeutic thing, and the services were excellent. I needed them, obviously, because I hadn't dealt with my trauma.
Mhm.
But I was also looking for somebody who wasn't there to diagnose me with a mental health disorder. I
Mhm.
needed somebody that walked in my shoes
Right.
and could understand exactly what I was talking about when I mentioned the type of sensations I was feeling in situations that somebody who hadn't been through
Mhm.
um, would deal with differently. And I did some research. I actually went into health and life coaching first because I thought, okay, well, if I can help people take care of their physical well-being, then that can allow them to be in a physical state to take care of their mental health. And I did that for 4 years, and I still felt like I wasn't reaching the people that I wanted to reach. I wanted
Mhm.
to be able to help people and to be that person that I needed when I was starting my healing journey.
I like
So
that. Be the
that led
person.
me here.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That be the person that I needed. That's a real. You should put that on
Yeah.
a shirt of yours.
Big
Be the person. Be
good
the person
idea.
that you want. That you need. Be the person that you need.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
and I think that, being a former foster youth too, that was just another thing um, that made me different from some other trauma survivors. So I had that other level of trauma, basically, right?
Right.
If you've been in the foster care system, you've experienced something, whether it was taken from your parents and you didn't want to be taken, or
Right.
taken because you had to be taken.
Right.
So
What's your story in a nutshell?
my story was I had to be taken,
Okay.
and I should have been taken a lot sooner,
Oh,
but things weren't disclosed. I was afraid to disclose what was going on, basically,
of course. Of
right?
course.
So,
Well, that's good that you got into that.
yeah.
So it has given you a better insight into the needs of other clients in their full well-being, right?
Absolutely, because I can actually say, you know what?
Mhm.
I'm a certified trauma recovery coach, but
Mhm.
I'm also a survivor. And
Right.
I've been in the foster care system. I've
Yes.
experienced different types of abuse as a child and in my adult years. So there's various things that I've experienced, and I can resonate with how people are feeling because I can actually feel it myself.
Exactly. And that's the
Mhm.
hard part to get people to feel that way. So that I think you do have more compassion when you can
Yeah, and
feel like
like you can put words to feelings and emotions that you couldn't before. So like there was feelings that I had and I wasn't sure what it was.
Mhm.
I didn't know if I was angry, if I was scared. And when you work on your trauma recovery and your healing journey, you
Mhm.
kind of dig deeper and you're able to label or put a word
To-
on what that emotion or feeling is. And
Wow.
and it's easier to do that when you have somebody walking beside you that has walked in the same path, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Explain this quote to us. The mind, this is your quote. The mind, body, soul connection is a highly underestimated combination. You cannot address one without the other for optimal results.
Mhm.
Brilliant.
So basically, that was the result of, um, as I mentioned, I was a health and life coach. And I mean, when I was in high school, I started working out when I was 14.
Mhm.
because I'm 5'2", right? 120 pounds. Well, I was 120 pounds. We won't go there. I'm almost 50 now. So that was my escape. That was a way for me to feel strong and a way that I could protect myself physically should
Mm,
I get into a situation where I
mm,
could be taken advantage of, right?
right.
Um, and that lasted for a while. I mean, that helped me survive certain situations and helped me manage my stress and my anxiety and my trauma responses, even though back in those days I didn't know what trauma responses were. I just
Right.
thought that, okay, like something's going on. I don't feel good inside my body.
Mm,
I didn't feel safe in my
mm,
body at some
right.
times, right? So uh, trying to become physically strong was helping. But when you get to the point where your mind is not strong and you feel, I don't know what the word would be, almost like you feel broken,
Unempowering? Or broken and yeah, that's a good.
right? Like there's a part of you that feels like it's lost. And
Mm,
that's the soul part. So if you don't work on, you can work on your physical body
mhm.
until you're like on a stage and flexing your muscles, right? And getting awards for it. But if you don't deal with what's going on up here,
That's
that
right.
stuff is not going to help.
I'm so
Right?
glad you said that because I tell
It's
kids,
true. Yeah.
yeah, kids I work with too. I always ask when I'm with other speakers. I was like, "And did you do your therapy? Did you do your work?" Because I know a lot
Yeah.
of people in this field that haven't done the work.
Hmm.
So it'll show up
And
in another way.
absolutely. And that's what happened with me. I worked on my physical body for decades. And
Right.
if and I survived, but
Good.
I didn't want to just survive anymore. And
Right.
that's when like my mental health started to decline and I was like, okay,
Right.
something got to change. And then I realized like it was a cold, hard reality. And through the school of hard knocks, right? I
Wow.
learned that if you don't work on all of those things,
Mm,
it's not going to flow the way you need it to and to
right.
have the life that you deserve.
Right. And that's the part, the life that you deserve. I think some of
Yeah,
us, after trauma, we may feel like we don't deserve it, and that's why we
absolutely.
sabotage each other. You just keep going over and over
Yep.
until you hit a wall or meet somebody like yourself. Then you're like, wait a minute. So I've been doing this wrong all the time. You know,
Yeah.
so that's interesting.
And like you said, that is the problem because we don't believe that we deserve it because of those voices in our head from the people that hurt us,
Yes.
right? At the times that were so critical in our growth as children. And then if it wasn't as a child and it happened in adult years and you experienced it for a long period of time,
Mhm.
it's hard to forget those voices in your head. If
Yes.
somebody gives you a compliment,
Right.
you kind of like, or I know that for me, in
Yeah.
my experience, like you're kind of like, oh, gee, thanks, and you kind of, you're like, oh, yeah, right. They're just saying this.
Right.
But if somebody makes a negative comment about your appearance or about your personality,
Mhm.
like with me, I would run that over and over and over in my head, and
Right.
that would be the thing that I would remember. But
Yeah.
that's because of the
You attract,
trauma.
yeah, and you attract the same thing from your childhood.
Yeah,
Until you clean the slate and figure out how to
yeah,
compartmentalize it, you attract
yeah.
the same thing. So if you heard,
Hmm.
"Oh, you're ugly or you're this or that or something
Hmm.
bad," that's gonna replay like a film. So
Yeah,
going on.
absolutely.
This is
Hmm.
great. So you on one of your other quotes, you said that you are trying to create a new revolution of mindset shifts around trauma recovery, health, and wellness. Tell us how we can all get on that bandwagon.
Okay, so what I do, I work with clients. I do individual coaching, I do group coaching, and I'm actually almost ready to launch a self-paced course. It's only 4 weeks. This course that I'm launching soon.
Okay.
So we focus on trauma recovery in an aspect that we do a little bit of education. I'm
Mhm,
not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a trauma recovery coach.
mhm,
So I walk beside the person
mhm.
and help them to heal in a way that they can heal, on their timeline.
Yeah.
Um, I don't diagnose or treat mental illness or addiction.
Okay.
So it's a peer-to-peer basis. So, I've been there. I've walked the path of
Mm,
trauma. I know what it's like to be in the darkness and to not have anybody that understands that's
mm,
not there diagnosing me.
mm.
Right? So that's what I do. An example would be if you could just picture someone that's in a pit, right?
Mhm.
That's their darkness.
Yeah.
They're in this pit. They can't get out. I don't come by with a ladder and say, here you go. This will help you get out. I climb down in that pit and sit with them until they can figure out how to get out on their own. So you're there as that strength and that soundboard for the person that wants to heal, and they're having a bit of trouble, or they're struggling trying to navigate that health and wellness journey in the aspect of trauma.
Mm.
It's you're almost a guide
Mhm.
to give them the strength that they need, because they have the answers inside on what
Right.
they need to do to heal
Absolutely.
and what they need to do to feel better in
Mhm.
their body and their mind and their spirit. And you're just there as their strength when they don't have it.
I love that. I love it. How does one turn their pain into healing and overcome adversity, either while they're in abuse or after abuse?
It's all about self-worth.
Mhm.
As trauma survivors, when we're not in a state of healing,
Mhm.
we are at our lowest. Our confidence is in our boots, our self-worth. We have a hard time even loving ourselves,
Mhm.
right? So the very first thing is to learn how to build that relationship with yourself, because your trust with yourself is broken, because you feel like, okay, well, if I couldn't see that this person was going to hurt me,
Mhm.
then I can't trust my own judgment.
Right.
So
Right.
you heal the relationship with yourself, and you do that by working with me as your coach, because you build that relationship with your coach. You learn to trust other people as well, and
That's
believe in yourself, and then you build on that, and you work on your self-love and your self-worth until you get to a place where you actually believe that
Mhm.
I deserve better. I
Right.
deserve a better life, and I am worth being loved. And everybody needs safety and love and belonging, and that's like they're the basic human needs, right?
Absolutely. That is you everybody
Yeah.
wants to be a part of a tribe, and
Hmm.
to feel love. It's just a human, we have to have it. It's just if we don't, we usually fall short somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, is there a formula for healing, or is it based on each individual?
It's based on each individual. There's no real formula. Everybody has trauma, that has trauma deals with it differently. What works for me may not work for you, but that's where you deal with this yourself. When you have a coach, they kind of guide you.
Mhm.
So that's what I meant about, like, I don't hand you a ladder.
Right.
I get down in the pit, and I'm there as strength. It's just,
I
like a
love that.
friend to talk to, that, okay, yeah, I've been there too. But
Right.
I don't give advice.
Right.
If I know, like, some healing tools or healthy coping mechanisms that I know that can help through my training and my education and my own experience, of
Mhm.
course I would offer that if the person is open to it.
Right.
Um, but really, it's to be able to find that within yourself, because the answers are there.
Wow. Yeah, they're always there within us. It's just a matter of bringing.
Yeah,
So
you
I
just
love
need some
this.
people just need a little help to dig it out, right?
Yes, I absolutely love that there's so many new life coaches, I call them, that are here
Hmm.
to, I mean, it's nice that you have the lady with the degree too, if you can do
Hmm.
that. But some people
Hmm.
can't do that. Some people can only do another method that doesn't work for everybody. So I like that there's different modalities and different ways to recover, because trauma is real, and it affects us all in the end, I think. So
Absolutely. Hmm.
and I hope you don't mind. We're going to take a quick video break. And we'll be back in a moment, because I always break it up just a little bit so people can process and let it go. So we'll be back with Denise Blake in a minute, and we're gonna quickly watch a video, guys. We're gonna listen to a song here. Let's see if I can get it right. There we go. All right, here we go. All right. A blind man can say, and she's my all in all. She's my everything. She's my seasons and my reasons. She's my summer, she's my winter, she's my spring. I'm in love with my best friend. I'm a lover, ooh, I'm a lover, tell the whole world. And smile, please. I'm in love I'm a lover till the whole world ends. It's the reason that I'm still alive. It's the reason that I'm still alive. She took all the drugs and all the pain and bad stuff out of my life. And that's the reason why I can live with my hands clean, morally right. I'm in love with my best friend. I'm a lover, ooh, I'm a lover till the whole world ends. I said I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm a lover till the whole world ends. And she's my ooh. She's my baby girl. She's my boo. And she's my Hi, you're watching On the Town with Tanya, and we're back with Coach Denis Blake, and we're talking about trauma and healing. And Denise, so I always take just a little music break sometimes. It depends on what's going on, because I think it's good to break it up. Because some people, trauma can be a lot to talk about. So, so now you wrote that up. You empower trauma survivors to navigate through their own healing and journeys and thrive by helping them improve in their quality of life. What are some examples that you can give us that looks like for someone that may be watching and may say, "Oh, let me try this. What would that look like?"
Self-care, building resilience and self-confidence to help other people see the value in their own worth because we've lost it as trauma survivors.
Yes.
Right. And healing is not linear. It's a lot of detours. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. But on the bad days, I help people learn to navigate that with the tools that they resonate with. There's a lot of different things that you can do: journaling, meditation, self-care, like healthy coping mechanisms. There's a lot of different avenues that we can go down, but it's different for everybody. And that's the part of the healing journey that is so powerful, because you recognize when your trauma responses are being activated. You realize, okay, well, this is why I'm being my anxiety is high, or I feel like I'm stressed more than usual. And you know how to manage that. So you manage your stress and anxiety symptoms and learn that, okay, well, I know now that this is a trigger or this is an activation, and then what to do to move forward. And that's all a part of the healing process. And then each time it gets, the responses are not as severe and they kind of diminish over time.
What do you think? What do you think is the reason there's so much anxiety lately with everybody? I never had anxiety until I guess till like last year, kind of. I guess during the pandemic, maybe. But I never had anxiety, and now all of a sudden, everybody's got some form of anxiety, whether it's from them every 5 minutes on the news. 5 lost today, 2 lost. Today. Someone lost their eyeballs, and someone else. I mean, it's like it just never on. So I figured out early on, turn off the TV.
Yeah. I don't watch the news anymore.
I don't watch TV at all.
I hear like little bits and pieces of things that's happening in the world, but I try not to watch it, because it's a lot of bad things. Not that I don't participate in listening to news at some point, because I want to know what's going on in the world, but like to listen to it every day. Like one of my friends, she's in the States. She's listening to the news every day and she's telling me, "Oh my goodness, you should see what was on the news here today." Right. I can't remember what state she's in, but there was something about like the numbers for the pandemic, and she's watching it every day. And I'm like, I work in healthcare. I'm dealing with COVID every single day. right?
Yes.
I know that the numbers are important, but like I'm not going to focus on that. I'm focusing on how to help people,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Because
And
it
a
gets people.
pandemic is a trauma,
Yes, it is. I was going to say that
right?
alone. I mean, the pandemic is a trauma. The war going on is a trauma. I
Yes.
mean, the fact that there's so many crimes going on right now in New York, that's ridiculous.
Oh my
That's a
goodness.
trauma. So everything pretty much is a trauma trigger right now. Like,
Oh,
forget,
absolutely. There's
forget
been
the
so
childhood
much.
trauma that you have already or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
There's
and
so
then
much.
you're growing up trauma, but now you can just be a normal, regular, whatever, Joe Schmo. And I guarantee you, if you watch television, you don't even know it, but you've been traumatized.
Yeah.
You have no clue. Because what happens is, it creates and here's the thing about human beings. I love myself. I tell us, I love us. I love our species. I know that watching TV is horrible and the news is horrible because it just creates this flight in your head that's like
I
everybody
know. Yeah.
you're making that trip system in your brain flitch every few minutes, you know what I'm saying? Now I know this and I'm a professional. I know this, right? But yet and still, what will I do? For 1 second, I do the YouTube thing, and you know how I just want a 3 minute top up of what's going on. So
Yeah.
in
Just a
case
summary.
just in case Putin's coming, I'm prepared. That's all. I got to be prepared, right? So I'll do just quick, and then the 1 minute turns into 2 minutes, and then the
Down the
two
rabbit
minutes
hole.
turns to three. The next thing I know, I was like, "Can you believe she did this?" I'm like, "Oh my God, did she do that?" I can't believe that's happened. I mean, and I'm like, "Who
Yeah.
are you? Like, what are you doing?"
I
So
know.
how does
It's
someone?
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how does someone like we know about this. How do we tell someone who doesn't know about this the first thing you must do is get rid of all the other noise, right?
I think the biggest thing is listen to your body. Like your nervous system reacts
Mm,
when things like you'll tense up when you hear like I know myself
yeah,
when I see things on TV, like if the news is on and I'm walking by, my husband watches the news all the time, and I'm
yeah,
like, okay, I'm gonna go to the other TV and
yeah.
put on like something on Netflix or put on I don't know, some acoustic chill music or something on YouTube to
Chill,
try to
very,
mellow
very
out
chill
because
music.
yeah, right. Like I'm working in a stressful environment all day long. So my nervous system is on like high alert all the time. So when I come
Yes,
home, I'm like, I just gotta chill. I got to let my nervous system reset itself.
right.
And then I come in and there's the news is on and I'm like, I'm walking right past that TV and
It's
getting the heck away from it
it's
because my
crazy.
body is tense. Yeah.
It's so crazy, and I feel so bad for people that don't know what we know, because I
Yeah.
can't imagine. I look back to the days before I knew any of this stuff about good eating, about yoga.
Yeah.
Before I knew any
Mhm.
of this stuff, I was like, "Dang, I don't know how I made it this far," because it's like
Right.
you just put yourself in that rabbit hole. I think that's what you said. The word. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Rabbit hole, and you don't even know you're in it.
Yeah, like Alice in Wonderland, you know how she falls down in the and like
Exactly.
everything is going yeah.
And that's kind of how the world is right now. And you're like,
It
oh,
is, yeah.
I think I want to touch that candy. No, don't touch that candy.
Yeah,
So,
don't touch it.
don't do it. Let's sprinkle it. It's not how I feel. Yeah, I feel an Alice in Wonderland syndrome. That's what I'm gonna name it. Yeah,
Yeah,
everything looks
exactly.
great, and
Yeah,
young person, you're like, oh wow, look at that. But it's like,
yeah,
don't touch it because you don't know what you're about to get
that's
into.
right, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how do we, that's where I'm always challenging myself with my foster youth is how do I tell this young girl who has no clue, may have been in a gang, I'm saying, doesn't have no clue about the
Mm.
peace, love, happiness part, no clue. This is their first time. What's the first thing that I need to get her to see or him to see? To as far as because mostly all I've never met a foster kid who didn't have trauma. I just haven't.
Yeah,
I've never met any. So
being
I
in foster care is a trauma, even if
ex-
you're in a good foster home, you're still
exactly,
separated from your family, right?
exactly, and
Um,
it's still a form of neglect or
it
abandonment.
is.
Abandonment. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, separation anxiety is kind of on the rise when you're in that situation, right?
yes.
Um, I don't know. I think just find something to do that they love
Mm,
that's, keeping them occupied in a healthy way,
mm,
whether it's sports or music
mm.
or, dive into that. And I mean, that is enough to reset your nervous system. And if
Yes.
you're in a high stress environment, like you mentioned, gang and stuff, I don't know a whole lot about that because it's not where I live. I'm in a very tiny community, but like I know of people that have experienced that
Hmm.
in the foster care system, and
Hmm.
it's not an easy life. It's not easy to get out of.
Right.
But if they are coming to see you, they obviously they want the help. They
Exactly.
want to get out. They know that deep down inside that their lives are valuable, and they want that sense of love and safety and belonging.
Right. Everybody.
Right? So just find something that they love to do, whether it's read, write, music, sports,
Yeah.
anything to keep them out of the darkness.
That's very big. I'm a firm believer that you have to find your gift, and we have to teach young people to find their gift, and not just
Yeah.
young people, anybody who came to me with trauma. I used to work in the addiction field for over 15 years, and even my clients, I would say, you know what, they didn't even know sometimes they had a gift, and I'd be like, "Did you do that?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, I drew that."
Yeah. It's like no big deal.
Do you
Right?
not see
Yeah.
that you're like a Picasso? And they're
Yeah.
like, no, no, I just did that for fun. Well, if that's your fun,
Yeah. Yeah.
let
I just
me
doodle,
commission
right?
you to a real, yeah, to a real piece. Can you do
Yeah.
painting? I'm just saying. It's amazing, but some people don't even know their own gift because unfortunately, maybe their parents didn't hone it. Like you said,
Yeah.
that's the only reason why you put your kid in sports and singing and music and instruments and
Yeah.
soccer, this team and that team, because it's going to a place of they're going to know what they don't like,
Yeah.
right? And they're
Yeah.
going to find something that they love. And when you
Yeah.
find what you love, it becomes actually a place, becomes a thing that can actually soothe your soul when there's trauma and everything
Yes,
going on.
exactly. Yeah.
I did singing, played instruments, and wrote. I like to write, still write. I have tons of
Mm.
crates of
Yeah.
books I pretend to write or whatever it is, you
Yeah.
know, very helpful.
Writing is very therapeutic. I tell my clients that all the time. Like, if you have any inclination of wanting to write,
Mhm.
that's the way to go, because there's some things that you can't talk about with other people.
No,
And it's like a brain dump
yeah,
into a journal that you can get it all out, and you can write things that you can't say out loud,
exactly.
you know?
Exactly. It's very helpful. So if you had to give me three things that someone wants to start with right now, what are three things that you said they can do? Three things. If someone's out there listening and you're going through, maybe anxiety from trauma, what's something that they can do right this minute to start?
I would say, well, journal is one.
Mhm.
If you like to write, journaling is very therapeutic. You're getting all of the emotions and feelings and things out.
Mhm.
Even if you don't want to write about your own stuff, you can write a story, write a poem,
Mhm.
anything that, is going to be creative and get your energy changed and your nervous system
Mhm.
reset. Nature,
Mhm.
exercise, get
I
out in
love
nature,
walking. Yeah, walking.
right? Like,
Favorite.
whatever, or sports, like anything that you can do outdoors
Mhm.
and move your body, because just by moving your body you're increasing the good hormones that help reset your nervous system, and they reduce the stress hormones.
Doesn't go.
And then a sound, any kind of sound that you love, like music. If you like meditation music, spa music,
I love the
rap,
chakra. The
R&B.
chakra.
Yeah. Yeah.
I put on different ones. So, like, if I want to heal my cells, I put on healing chakra for cells in YouTube, and it comes pops up. If you want to, increase your money source, I put one on for money with chakra.
Yeah.
Anything you want, they have a
Yeah.
tune for it, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I put one on for. I found a job, and I was putting one on for abundance and wealth and other.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
really, this is weird, but I'll take it. I know that
Yeah.
the
I
universe is
like,
order, but
yeah,
have fun with
I like different kinds of music. Like, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I could be listening to, like, I don't know, acoustic chill
it.
music,
Yeah,
to rap, to R&B, to except for
everything.
country. I'm not a country fan.
I love country. Are you
No,
kidding?
sorry
Oh,
to any country fans out there,
I
but
love country.
I
Depends.
can't, I just can't get into it. But anything that's smooth and, got a good beat, or like ass kicking music. I hope wasn't
I
allowed to
have
say that
somebody
word.
that's country that you would like, that you would love. Look at Marin Morris.
Maren Morris. I
Yeah,
never
look
heard of
her
it.
up. Girl, the song "Girl."
Girl.
Did I say her name right? Marin Morris. I think I said her name right. Girl, won't you stop your crying? I know that you're trying. You never heard that? She sung it at
I
the
don't
Grammy
know.
last year, I want to say, while she was pregnant. It was brilliant. Brilliant.
Okay.
And she's classified as country, but trust me,
Oh,
you will like her. The song,
okay. Maybe you'll make me a country fan. We'll
yeah,
see.
no, she's country with a pinch of something in it. I can't put my finger on. She's got that grit, and you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some country singers have a lot of grit. I mean, look at Zach Williams. I mean, it's he does it's like Christian rock they call it, but I was like, no, I put a twinge of gospel in there because
Okay.
yeah, it's like a little country, like it's a pinch of everything, rock and
Yeah.
roll rolled up. It's like a gumbo of soul type music that touches
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
soul, you know.
Yeah.
That's why I like Florence and the Machine.
I don't know them. I don't
What?
think.
You don't know
No.
Florence and the Machine?
What did they sing a
Oh,
song for me?
no light in your bright blue eyes. I never knew daylight could be so violent. The revelation of I'll have that. It's
I
hard to
haven't.
say.
I gotta write this down too.
It's kind of hard to pin this one because she goes all over the place, and she's the only person that can get away with that many chants, Gregorian chants, song, rock, and Baptist, and she's got everything wrapped in one. She's a redhead. She's so adorable. I love
This
her.
is awesome. I'm gonna have like a new playlist. Keep talking. Keep talking.
She uses the harp, which is like a thing of
Oh,
mine.
that's different.
Yeah, it's weird, but I like her. But she's got songs that are just, I don't know, they border on a pinch of like gospel, but no, the Gregorian chant came in somewhere with. I mean, she's got a eclectic. It's like I
Yeah.
can't put her in a genre. I
Yeah.
really can't. She's got some stuff you could put in genre, but most of her stuff you're like, I'm not sure where that's coming from. But you like it, you know. You like it. She's
I'll
even
check it out.
yeah, she's even almost a bit off key, but you know she's singing from her soul, so you really like it. It's healing to me. I love her music.
Yeah.
I love it.
See? Music,
I'll
right?
send you something. I'll email you something with her.
Yeah.
So
Everybody likes music. They just like their own kind of music. Like everybody has different tastes. So that, like you said, it's healing.
you know why? I took a class at NYU on music and history of music and something else. And one of the things is we all have, I may be saying this wrong, it's been thousands of years. We all have ohms or what it was called. So
Mhm.
I'll call them feelings of some sort or
Yeah.
or a feeling wave of some sort, right? So that's why I might put on Luciano Pavarotti, and somebody might be like, "Oh my God, he's great," and then I'll put it on for somebody, let's say in a area, another place, and they'll be like, "What is this crap?"
What are you listening to?
It goes by your own. So depending on who you are,
Mhm.
and probably, I mean, I'm going to assume also what your backdrop is. Your parents raised you. What sounds were you listening to growing up as a baby? All that. I think that
Mhm.
plays a part. I may be wrong, but when you put on music, it will do one or two things for you. A category is, oh my gosh, yes, that's my song. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. Or it's going to put you in like, oh God, would you just turn that off? And it's really based on those sounds coming out of those instruments and the vocalist's voice. Believe it or not, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how we're so in tune with the universe, and all of that plays a part, but we don't see it. We don't really know about it. But music
Yeah.
is a big key to healing.
Absolutely.
Big key. And I mean, I've been knew it, but I've just learned that academically in the last 15 years or something like that, you know? So I tell people, put music on, put something good on. I promise you, if nothing else, it'll calm your spirit.
Mhm. Well, when I was like, I guess 10, 11, 12, that was like a couple of years before I went into foster care.
Mhm.
Michael Jackson, that's what got me through those years.
Oh,
I was
Michael Jackson.
convinced I was going to marry him. That
Everybody
didn't
was.
work out, unfortunately.
Take a number, honey.
Right?
Take a number.
But like I would be in my room, and that's like when I had a record player, and then that's when like the Ghetto Blasters, I had a little tiny one that came out, right? That's when tapes were in. And I was like, I just played over and over and over and over. And and dance and pretend I was dancing with him or I was on stage with him. And that's what got me through some of the rough days, right?
That's it. That's how you get through. I mean, I see
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. And so many kids can say, yeah, I went to my room and I either drew something, or I sung a song, or I played an
Yeah.
instrument, or I heard
Yeah.
a song. Those
Yeah.
are all things that I believe get us through trauma. And you got to
Absolutely.
do it by any means necessary. You know, as long as you are addressing that there's something going on,
Yeah.
I think you can be all right. You really can be all right.
Yeah. The other part of it too is, if as long as you're not doing it to stuff down the feelings,
Exactly.
because eventually they're going to spill out. It's like
Oh yeah.
clogging a drain with grease and then pouring water in it.
I tell
Right?
people
It's going to overflow eventually.
Yep. My example is, I tell people, I used to tell my clients, I said, so okay, here's your trauma and here's your Louis Vuitton bags, or you can get the Target suitcases, whichever one you want. If you put them in the Target suitcase, right? And I'm not saying that Target suitcases are bad. So let me give another. You put them in the less expensive, excuse me. So Target has good suitcases. Actually, I've had one that's actually pretty good. So, okay, scratch that. But let's say you have a plastic suitcase and you have I said Louis Vuitton, but it could be any great made suitcase. How about that? Samsonite, whatever the great brands are, I don't know. And so if you take all your trauma, right, and you pack it into that plastic suitcase, and then you pack it in the Louis Vuitton suitcase, I bet you, as you travel around in life with that plastic suitcase, pieces will fall out, pieces of it wear off. Eventually there's gonna be pieces all over. You're gonna leave a trail of your trauma as you go, right? Versus the Louis Vuitton, which symbolizes for me, you got therapy, you got help, addressed your needs, you made sure you wrote down whatever it is you need to address. You talked through it with the therapist or with a coach or whoever. It's as long as it's somebody, right? And you process and you went through it. You sit in your stuff, as Oprah would say. You sit in it, and you're
exactly.
Because you got to be comfortable with your own stuff, right?
You have to feel your feelings, even though they're uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right? You have to feel it to move through it.
Absolutely. And then once you do that, now you can put it in the Louis Vuitton, I say, and it's there. It's not going to leave.
No, it's there. It's always going to be
Nobody
there.
can break into it because it has a lock on it, and only you can go in and open it when you need to and take out what you need as you need it back. That's how I see it.
That's an excellent analogy. I love it.
That's how I used to tell the young people. It's like, because I had to think of something. So that was, since I love suitcases, that was, I use that. But
that's an excellent analogy. Yeah, that's good. I'm going to use that one myself if I can.
Yeah. Well, I used to model. That's why I had the Louis Vuitton, and I was trying to show the comparison, but I shouldn't do that because I don't want to crap on the other guy suitcase.
I don't want to say the name of the brand.
They're all good suitcases. I love them all.
The no-name brand.
Exactly. So we're almost done here, but so do you ever, doing this work, do you ever get clear feedback from clients that show you, yeah, I'm on to something. This is working?
Yes. I think by asking questions, like I ask a lot of questions. Somebody may make a comment about something like, I didn't do it good enough. Right. And then I say, okay, so why don't you think that you did this task good enough? Well, and then you dive deeper, and it might root back to something that their parents had said as a child about not being good enough at something. And that travels through to your adult years, right? And then you address that's something that somebody gave you as a limiting belief, right? And you have to take that and move forward and not let that negative voice, what's the word I'm trying to look?
Not let it overshadow everything else.
Yeah, not let it deter you from becoming something that you're capable of becoming. Deep down inside, right. We're all here for a purpose. We're all here for a reason, right? We all have a special reason in this world, whether we see it right now or not, right? And you just move forward and you take those limiting beliefs and you kick them to the curb, right? It's easier said than done.
Yes.
But when you get to this point where I am now, you can fight off those, you can bust those limiting beliefs
Yes.
easier than you could, like I could 5 years ago, for example.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's all about believing in yourself, and just remember you're here for a reason. You're here for a purpose. And maybe it's to help somebody else,
That's right.
right?
So that's and that's usually what it's for.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, and my foster mom used to tell me, stop thinking about your problems and help somebody with their problems, and then you'll forget about your problems. And I
Yeah.
said, what does she mean? And when I got older, I realized, wow, she's right. So while
Mhm.
I didn't have a lot of money, for a lot of times,
Mhm.
my kids, I tried my best to raise them. You know what?
Mhm.
Instead of holidays celebrating ourselves, let's go feed the homeless, make a big dinner, and go
Yeah.
take it down to New York City and just feed the homeless. Because you know why? I want them the sense of give to others, and then your problems won't seem so big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fact
Yeah.
that you can make a meal if somebody doesn't have a meal, like that's,
Exactly.
yeah. You have to
Exactly.
sometimes take yourself out of yourself and go just for the moment, dive in somewhere else.
Mhm.
As long as you're not escaping, like you said.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's, I mean, those things are needed, right?
yes, yes, absolutely. So we're
Everybody needs support in one way or another.
absolutely. I mean, humans are built that way. We're built
Mhm.
to belong to a tribe, to
Yeah.
need love,
Yeah.
and really we're built for a sense of community. We're not meant to be
Exactly.
by
Yeah.
ourselves. That's not how we're built. And
No.
anybody who does it, they went way against the grain, and I'm sure there's something internally going on that we
Yeah.
don't know about.
Yeah.
Hashtag serial killers. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm a comedian. I had to go there. So, so where can we find you at www.deniseblakecoaching.com?
Mhm. I'm on Instagram at Denise Blake Coaching 2.0. It
Oh,
was Denise Blake Coaching, but it got hacked, so I had to do
oh,
2.0 on. Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Um, yeah, that sucked.
I know when you get hacked.
But yeah, that's okay. I'm resilient. I built a new IG account, so you can
Good
find
for
me
you.
there. And I'm also on Facebook at Denise Blake Coaching.
Let me put that in there. Wait. I'm gonna try to see if I can. You're on Facebook.
Yep, Denise Blake Coaching. That's my Facebook page.
Uh, oh wait. Yeah, Denise. Oh, I keep messing up here. Sorry, Denise Blake Coaching. Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. I got you.
And
Like this.
Instagram is Denise Blake Coaching 2.0.
Instagram. Can I spell? Is what's it called? What's it called?
Denise Blake Coaching.
At Denise Blake. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with me. Coaching. My brain is like on a delayed response.
2.0. That's like me. If somebody's is watching over my shoulder and they're telling me to type something, I'm like
Right.
messing up all the time.
So weird. So we're gonna go to one video break, and then we're gonna come back to say goodbye. Is that good enough?
Okay.
It's okay.
Sure. Yeah.
What time is it in Canada? I meant to ask you.
It is 10:20 here now,
Oh
PM.
wow! So you have to get to bed. You must
Yeah, I'm the most furthest ahead time zone in all of North America, and it's just this island that has that time zone in the
Oh
world.
wow, that's right. You're on an island. I forgot. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll make this crappy snappy. All right, let me
That's okay.
to go. All right, so we're just gonna take a quick video break, and let's see. We'll be right back in 2 seconds here if I can get this right. Here it is. Yeah, got it. All right, here we go. All right, so.
I've tried Royal Slums.
Have you got any ID?
Very good. And I like her.
I'm going to need to see some ID.
But I'm a grown man.
ID, please.
I'm clearly over 25.
I know, but you could be one of the guys with like a rare Benjamin Button disease.
You know me. You know that I don't have a...
I'm technically not allowed to remember people because it's illegal because of the GDPR laws. And see, if I did remember you, then I would be a data risk and then I would go to jail like Julian Assange. And I couldn't cope well in prison with this mouth.
This is insane, Helen.
Look, sir, if you don't have any ID, I'm going to have to ask you to step aside. Next! ID, please. Thank you, Anne. No ID. no sale. I'm not a politician. I don't make up the laws. The law is that it is illegal to retain information about other people in any computer, and a brain is a computer, so I'm not going to remember people because I don't want to go to jail. It's a well-known fact that the brain is the computer. Star Trek, Stephen Hawking, YouTube.
20 Royal Slims.
ID, please.
My wee ma had to go up to the attic to get that down.
Do you have a valid form of ID?
It's my passport.
It went out of date 6 years ago,
I'm not trying to get into Dubai. I just want a packet of cigarettes.
and I'm going to need to see some valid ID. Please.
This is my ID.
It's not valid. I wouldn't want to make assumptions about humans or their aging process because that's not politically correct.
Have you tried the menu drawer?
Yeah, I've already looked here. Ah, found it.
What can I get you?
20 Royal Slims.
There you go.
Don't want to see my ID.
No, you're okay.
I mean, I know an adult, but
Oh, that's for people who are, under 25. Well below.
The law's the law. I can't change that just because some man can't be bothered getting his passport renewed. You should renew your passport. In fact, maybe I've helped him. Maybe it was a friendly reminder. Renew your passport.
Thank you very much. That was Sketch City, but it's really by Comedy Channel 4 Comedy. I love them. They're original sketch group, and they always come up with the best sketches. I love them. I do stand up, so I love anything with sketch. Is fabulous for me. But thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And viewers, if you're out there, please go to Denis Blake's Instagram. It's on there. It's in the box. Go subscribe and go to On the Town with Tanya and subscribe to our YouTube channels, whatever we have out there. Help us out. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to be the change that we want to see, as you said. We got to learn that this is what I say. We must start helping others who are healing and trending, who are healing a trending thing instead of all the craziness that's out there. Someone out there is in need of a life-saving or changing information. So let's be the gateway to healing, love, understanding when we can and whenever we're given the opportunities. And so I will see you guys on Sunday. And Denise, any last words? We appreciate you.
Just to say that you're not alone. If you've experienced any of the things that I've discussed here with you, Tanya, tonight, like, you're not alone. There's everybody has experienced something in their lives. And if you have anything that's similar to me and you need just a chat, you can reach out. I'm an open book and I'm available to have a little chat if you're up to it.
Thank you.
And thank you for having me again. It's really great to see you, and I love spending time with you. This is awesome.
Yes, no, thank you for taking the time. I know you've been extremely busy, and we're blessed to have you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Guys, viewers, I will see you guys on Sunday. Denise, hang out for 1 minute. Bye,
Sure.
guys.